So I don't know if these trees are wanted in the sense that they're desired,
Exactly.
but they are wanted in the sense that we're trying to help people identify them in the yard and then I guess this upgrade them, improve the trees that they have.
Go native, yes.
Yeah, so I'm going to talk a little bit about our Bradford Pear Bounty Program that we are just starting up with a range of partners. And this is a pilot program. We got the idea from some neighboring states like South Carolina that have been doing this for a while and have seen it as a great way both to engage people about the problem of invasive plants, but also the incredible value of our native species. So we are inviting you and people across Kentucky to participate, cut down your Bradford pear, take a selfie with it, and get a free native tree that's going to be a better tree for your landscape long-term on a number of levels. So, as we're talking about this and we're talking about Bradford pear, the question could be, why are we doing this? Who cares about Bradford pear? It's this kind of nice tree in your landscape, no big deal. But there are a couple things about it that make it a problem. And when this tree was first introduced, it was kind of promoted as the perfect tree. It's got this nice round form. It has pretty white flowers in the spring, and it was subsequently planted all over the place. So you have neighborhoods and areas where it's just 100% Bradford pear, right? And what's the problem with that? Well, to start with, they don't last as long and perform as well as people thought when they put them in. Hindsight is 2020, and yes, they have glossy leaves and they grow rapidly, but they also fall apart fast. So this is what you can expect, or maybe what you've grown familiar with if you have Bradford pear in your yard, is that when it comes to our ice storms or other winter storms or major weather events, their branching structure is such that they're going to fall apart fast. And really, there are better selections long-term for your landscape that you'll be happier with, that will last. In addition, another major problem is that when they were first promoted, the idea was that these pear trees were sterile. They produced seeds, but their seeds wouldn't go anywhere or do anything. However, since then, it has been discovered that that is not the case at all. Those Bradford pear might be sterile with other Bradford pear, but Bradford is just one cultivar of the species calorie pear. There are many different cultivars out there, so you might have heard of aristocrat or chanticleer or other cultivars of flowering pear. These are actually the same species, and that species is also used as a rootstock for other pears. And so while a Bradford pear might be sterile with a Bradford pear, it's not the case with other calorie pears. So instead of having sterile seeds, what you see is it popping up everywhere. If you're in central Kentucky or northern Kentucky, you are already well aware of this site. In the spring, it's one of the first things to flower. And if you look in your old fields, your roadsides, they are just full of flowering pear, of calorie pear. And if you live in other areas, you might also be starting to see this pop up, because as those ornamental pears were planted all through the landscape, they are not staying put, and they are moving out from there into our natural areas. And why is this a problem? Well, it looks pretty. So, I think a lot of people might see it in the spring and like it, but those pears are kind of taking up the space that what you'd like to see there are your native trees. We talked about the importance of native tree species with Dr. Barton just a moment ago. If instead of getting the establishment of those native species that you want to see, that long-term are going to turn into these valuable forests, you just get a sea of calorie pear, that's going to set you back. That's going to prohibit that from happening. In addition, these calorie pears pear, these wild calorie pear that pop up, have some pretty significant thorns on them. Not only does that make that really unpleasant to walk around in, those pears are super dense and they're covered with thorns. You're not going to be enjoying that space the same way that you could. But you can pop equipment, pop tires on different pieces of equipment. So another thing to consider with that calorie pear. So if you've got Bradford pear in your landscape, we invite you to register for our Bradford Pear Bounty Program that's being hosted at the Franklin County Extension Office. And we have a couple different dates, one during the week and one during the weekend on March 12th and March 17th. And again, if you go online to our registration, you'll be able to sign up to say that you're going to cut down a Bradford pear or another calorie pear. And then in exchange for showing us a picture of that, you can get a native tree seedling that's going to be a better fit long term. There are lots of fantastic local partners that are leading this charge there in Franklin County. From the Remove Invasives Partnership of Franklin County to the Franklin County Extension Office to others. And this is all made possible by their great work on the ground. And while this is open to everyone across the state, there are some special perks for those Franklin County residents. You'll have access to some different trees due to some donations there. And there's even a prize for the biggest calorie pear cut down. The biggest tree cut down, the person who submits that can receive a voucher for a bald and burlapped tree. So please do check this out online and register, sign up for one of those dates. And if you like this program, if you like this idea, but you don't live near Franklin County, don't worry. Hopefully soon there'll be another program coming your way before too long.